Hello viewers, you're watching VNA News Agency's Daily Bulletin. Following are the headlines.
Vietnam and Hungary strengthen traditional friendship and cooperation. Vietjet Air offers 400,000 promotional tickets on international routes. Food safety tightened on threshold of Lunar New Year festival.
Hungarian Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister Peter is on an official visit to Vietnam. The visit is aimed at strengthening the traditional friendship and cooperation between the two countries and two foreign ministries.
On January 12, the same day, the Hungarian minister held talks with Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh. The two sides agreed to maintain the exchange of visits by high-level delegations and continue to cooperate effectively at international and regional forums, particularly at the UN and the Asia-Europe meeting. Both sides rejoice at the increase in the two countries' two-way trade. They said both sides will organize seminars and trade fairs to create favorable conditions for their commodities to enter each other's markets, especially agroforestry, fisheries, and garment and footwears. Deputy Prime Minister Minh affirmed Vietnam always encourages Hungarian businesses to expand their investment in the country, particularly in infrastructure development, renewable energy, food processing, and pharmaceutical. The two sides agreed on increasing collaboration in national defense, education training, science, technology, and culture, among others. Moreover, they agreed to work towards elevating their respective roles in connecting Southeast Asia and Central and Eastern Europe, as well as ASEAN and the EU.
The Vietnamese embassy in China hosted a reception to celebrate the 66th anniversary of the Vietnam-China diplomatic ties in Beijing on January 12. Addressing the celebration, Vietnamese Ambassador Đặng Minh Khôi reviewed the two countries' relations over the past 66 years. He stressed the Vietnam-China friendly neighborliness was initiated by their late presidents Ho Chi Minh and Mao Zedong and nurtured by different generations of leaders and people to become an invaluable asset of both countries. Notably, last year saw the positive development in the relations between the two parties, states and people, with the most reciprocal high-ranking visits, he said. Regarding the SC issue, he said the two sides should refrain from any actions that can complicate the situation and maintain stability in the region. Assistant to Foreign Minister Kong Xuân Yu said China attaches importance to relations with Vietnam and wants to work with the country in boosting cooperation for mutual benefits, satisfactorily addressing existing differences and enhancing bilateral ties. On the occasion, photos and pictures highlighting the beauty of Vietnam's people and landscapes are on display for a week in Beijing. The exhibition, held by the Embassy of Vietnam and the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, forms part of the activities to mark the 66th anniversary of the Vietnam-China diplomatic relations. Vietjet will give away 400,000 promotional tickets starting at $0 in a bid to meet passengers' surging demand for travel. As part of the airline's well-known "It is time to Vietjet" promotion, the giveaway will run from January 14 to 16. The promotion will apply to all Vietjet Air passengers flying on its international routes to Seoul, Taipei, Singapore, Bangkok, and Yangon between February 1st and December 31st, excluding public holidays. Vietjet Air announced to add over 800 flights starting from January 20th to February 20th to meet travel demand during Lunar New Year 2016. Major flights will be increased on routes connecting the southern largest economic hub of Ho Chi Minh City with the cities of Hanoi, Da Nang, Hải Phòng, and Vinh. Vietjet Air said it is planning faster expansion this year, which will result in further domestic market share gains and a larger international network. Hanoi's Department of Industry and Trade has announced a plan to open 9 consumer goods fairs in the city's suburban districts and industrial zones to serve the locals and workers' shopping demand before the traditional Tet holidays, which last from February 6 to 14 this year.
The fairs will be held in 2 stages, with the first 4 from January 27 to 31st in the districts of Thanh Oai, Mỹ Đức, Gia Lâm, and Sóc Sơn. The remaining fairs are set to be opened in Ba Vì, Quốc Oai, Thanh Trì, Phú Xuyên districts and the North Thăng Long Industrial Park between February 1st and 5th. Products sold at the fairs, which features about 50 to 70 booths each, will be made in Vietnam consumer goods with high quality, such as food, foodstuff, beverages, confectionery, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, garment and footwears, among others. According to the Hanoi Department of Industry and Trade, the total sales of consumer goods in the last lunar month is forecast to rise by 10% compared to the previous month.
The agricultural sector plans to slash rice cultivation by 100,000 hectares in 2016 to grow other grains used to feed animals. More in the following. According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, about 7.6 to 7.7 million hectares of land will be set aside for rice cultivation, with a total yield of 44.5 million tons. The sector will enhance quality while reducing costs of rice production by using high-quality varieties with high value and applying comprehensive cultivating methods. The ministry will continue projects of restructuring the rice sector and building rice trademarks, together with developing such plants as cashew, pepper, tea, cassava, fruit trees, vegetables, and flowers, which have good markets. In addition, the ministry will enlarge maize planting areas to 1.22 million hectares, up 22,000 hectares from 2015. A high-yield variety will go into mass production, with a total expected yield of 5.5 million tons. The Department of Crop Production will submit a national maize production plan for 2020 to the ministry for approval and draw up specific plans to shift ineffective rice cultivation to growing corn in line with natural and socio-economic conditions in each locality. In 2015, about 157,000 hectares of land were affected by drought, 5,000 hectares of which suffered from critical loss of crop, and cultivation could not be done in another 36,000 hectares. During the year, localities nationwide converted 34,600 hectares of inefficient rice cultivation to planting grains and aquaculture. Pepper production has brought high profits to growers. However, experts warned that the current rush at growing pepper for export will likely lead to oversupply in the near future.
The price of pepper in the world market has risen continuously over the last 5 years, from $5,600 per ton in 2011 to $9,000 per ton in 2015. Due to continuous price increases since the beginning of 2015, most of the pepper growers have not sold their products to traders after harvesting because they hope the price will continue to increase. According to the Vietnam Pepper Association, the price of pepper is likely to go down this year if the situation continues, and growers will have difficulties in selling their harvested products. Moreover, there remain problems in production, although farmers have invested much capital on them. To gain sustainable development, experts suggested that farmers and enterprises should consider consumers as a priority rather than the profits. The sector also should form a concentrated pepper production area and invest more capital for infrastructure and purchase and processing systems to gradually set up a safe material area. Moreover, pepper growers should join cooperatives to share experience and apply safe farming techniques and disease prevention measures to improve the quality of the product. Vietnam's pepper cultivation area reached 86,000 hectares in 2015, with an output of 130,000 tons, or 26,000 tons lower than the last crop.
The agricultural and rural development sector expects to gain 39 to 40 billion US dollars from farming, forestry and aquatic products, with an average growth rate of 3% in its gross domestic product by 2020.
According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the sector aims for an export turnover of 31 billion US dollars and a GDP growth rate at 3 to 3.5% this year. To gain its target this year and beyond, the agricultural sector will focus on restructuring itself and improving its value and efficiency of production. In addition, the sector will put more investment into the processing industry, especially deep processing and post-harvest preservation, to reduce losses after harvesting and increase the added value of farming products. The ministry will continue improving the efficiency of management for agricultural material, food hygiene and safety to create favorable conditions for export and consumption of farm production. It will also improve controls on quality, food hygiene and safety for farming, forestry and fishery products for export. During the 2011 to 2015 period, the cumulative export turnover in agroforestry aquatic products reached $140.6 billion, with an average annual growth rate of 9%. Compared to 2010, the export turnover of these products rose 54.6% to $30.14 billion in 2015. 10 exports listed in the $1 billion US club were rice, coffee, rubber, charfish, shrimp, cashew nuts, pepper, vegetables, cassava and woodwork. In the reviewed period, the sector's GDP growth rate reached 3.13%, surpassing the 2.6 to 3% target set by the 11th National Party Congress.
Hanoi aims to reduce up to 10 traffic congestion hotspots and limit the duration of traffic jams to less than 30 minutes in an effort to ensure traffic order during the 2016 Lunar New Year festival.
Traffic jams continues to be a huge problem with 44 hotspots in the city. The municipal committee said the increasing number of newly registered vehicles is the main cause of traffic jams. Figures from the city show that about 20,000 motorbikes and 8,000 cars are registered every month. It is estimated that the city will have about 1 million cars and 7 million motorbikes by 2020. In the meantime, the development of traffic infrastructure remains inadequate. The People's Committee said the city would work with local police force and traffic inspectors would be stationed at hotspots to assure smooth traffic flow. At least 500 policemen will be stationed at various locations in the inner city. The city will continue to organize free bus services to help workers at industrial and economic zones to return to their homes for the Tet holiday. Passenger bus services at bus stations will be asked to add more buses before and after the holiday.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has urged relevant agencies to tighten control over food hygiene and safety of agricultural and aquatic products as the Lunar New Year festival is approaching.
Accordingly, the ministry asked competent agencies and sectors to conduct unexpected inspections at consumer goods producing and trading establishments. The ministry stated that these agencies need to collaborate closely with the industry and trade and health sectors in carrying out inspections on food hygiene at establishments which produce food, foodstuff, beverages and confectionery. These products are always consumed in large quantities during the traditional Tet festival. Last October, the ministry launched a campaign to improve food hygiene and safety of agricultural products in the lead up to the Lunar New Year festival.
And that comes to the end of our program. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.